Howdy folks, this is Nelward coming at you with a brand spanking new tutorial. This time it's on the secrets of harmony. Except they're not secrets, they were taught to me and I'm going to teach them to you.
If you're watching this video and you're interested in composition or production lessons, you can hit me up. My email is below. If some of this information is over your head for the time being, that's completely okay. We can start at any level that you're at.
So this tutorial is concerned with the applicable extensions over each seventh chord. So for instance, the first one, major seventh, you've got a root, you've got a major third, you've got a fifth, you've got a major seventh. But the other extensions that are applicable over this chord are the major 9, the sharp 11, and the major 13. So there you go. There's a big ol' major 7 sandwich. It's actually a major 13 chord. So obviously, to understand this video, you're gonna have to have a grasp on the intervals, and also you're gonna, your knowledge of function, borrowed chords, modulation, and tonal harmony are just as important as they were before. So I've showed you the extensions that work over a major 7th chord. Now let's do a minor 7th chord. So we've got root, minor 3rd, perfect 5th, minor 7th, and then we can add a major 9, a natural 11th or perfect 11th, and then a major 13th. And of course, major 13 is also a 6th, major 6th. So I'm playing these chords in thin air, but in certain tonal contexts, they're not always going to sound ideal.
For example, a sharp 11 on a 1 chord would sound weird, or a 6 on a 2 chord, or a major 9 on a 3 chord. But I've decided not to focus on that in this video.
So don't worry if this information is going by fast. I have a PDF I've put down below that you can check out with all of this written down. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to show you the dominant 7th chord. So dominant 7th chords are awesome because there are so many possibilities as far as extensions and different colors and tones we can get out of these chords. In fact, the only extensions that don't work are the major 7 and the perfect 11th. Everything else is fair game. But since there are so many extensions on these guys, some of them are not going to sound great together. So what I've done is I've sorted the different extensions that go over a dominant 7 chord into 2 categories. One are the sharp sounding ones, and one are the soft sounding ones. So here's the sharp. Root, minor 3rd, perfect 5th, minor 7, flat 9. We've got sharp 9, sharp 11, flat 13. So yeah, that's an earful. Obviously, you're not gonna always use those extensions together. Okay, so here are the soft extensions that go over a dominant 7th chord. We've got a major 9, we've got a sharp 11, we've got a major 13. Very gorgeous chord. Yeah, the sharp tones to me sound more menacing. And the soft tones sound more airy and light. Okay, so believe it or not, I've gone over the extensions you're going to hear over the chords most of you are going to use at least 90% of the time. Now we're moving over to our unstable triads, our diminished triads, and our augmented triads. So I'm going to start with the diminished 7ths. So to review, a diminished 7th is root, minor 3rd, flat 5th, and diminished 7, or a major 6, whatever you want to call it. The extensions that work over this are major 9 and a natural 11. And sometimes that 11 sounds better in the lower octave as a 4th. And half diminished 7ths, which are just root, minor 3rd, flat 5th, and a minor 7 instead of a diminished 7 have all the same applicable extensions, which are the major 9 and the natural 11. It's a nice sounding chord. Okay, so let's go to the augmented chords. The first one I want to talk about is a chord that I use all the time, which is a major 7, sharp 5, root, major 3rd, sharp 5, major 7, and the extensions you can use over these, the good old 5th still works actually, and also a 9th. The 9th is going to sound funky depending on how you voice it. At the top it doesn't sound very good, but I'll put it at the bottom and let's see how beautiful it sounds. Ah, yes, that's very nice. An augmented triad with the minor 7th is just like a normal dominant 7th chord. All the same extensions work. Because remember, a sharp 5th is the same thing as a flat 13, which I mentioned before, works over a dominant 7th. One thing I neglected to mention earlier, we got major minor 7th. Very spooky sounding chord. Root, minor 3rd, perfect 5th, major 7 instead of minor 7. And all the same extensions that work over a normal minor 7 work over here. And of course, these are going to sound better if they're voiced differently. The major 13 would sound better as a 6th, which is just the same note, an octave down. There we go. And then the 11th, probably better as a 4th. But of course, as I said before, these are just the most basic voicings. This is like a pizza with everything on it, right? So barbecue sauce and pineapple taste great on pizza, but you would never mix it with ranch. Sort of kind of like these extensions. When the chords are moving fast, you don't want to give them all the toppings, right? You want to give them some of the toppings, let those flavors shine. Okay, so that's an overview of my understanding of harmony via the applicable extensions over 7th chords. Of course, it takes a while to get used to these and to get used to using them tastefully, but it should help organize your understanding and hopefully speed you up a bit in your quest for delicious chords. And of course, as I said before, this is in tandem with the rest of your theoretical knowledge. Modal and tonal harmony are just as important as they were before. And one thing I wanted to talk about, since in this tutorial I'm analyzing chords by their extensions. For example, a major 7, we're calling it such because it includes a major 7th in it, along with the major C major triad. But if I analyze this polytonally, it would be an E minor over C. And it's a worthwhile analysis to take to kind of know how chords stack against each other, and it creates possibilities for interesting chords. So when I wrote this chord progression, which it may sound a little bit spicy to some of you, but that's the point, I was thinking about the extensions first and foremost. So when I do advanced harmony, or harmony that doesn't have concern for tonality, even though you can make the case that this is tonal in a certain sense, that's primarily what I do. So for example, I have Jingle Bells, and I was thinking of, okay, what kind of vibe do I want for the first chord? I want a natural 11th type of sound. So I had a G flat, and I knew I needed a D flat to create a natural 11th type sound. And then from there I filled in the blanks. And the same process was used with the rest of the chords. Cool, so that is my tutorial. Hopefully it will clear some things up for y'all and move you along. Alive and Screen, my first EP, comes out on November 22nd, and I'm very excited. Hope y'all are too. And once again, I'm offering lessons, so if you're interested and you like what you hear in this video, you can hit me up. My email is in the description. And this is Nelward, signing out.